spill at Santa Barbara Well 1, OML 29, operated by AITEO Eastern Exploration and Production Company Limited in Opu Nembe local government area of Bayelsa State. Senate notes with concern the continuous gushing and spewing of oil and gas into the waterways and mangrove vegetation of Opu Nembe area of Bayelsa State from a long-sealed, non-producing but unattended oil well 1, Santa Barbara OML 29, belonging to AITEO Eastern Exploration and Production Company Limited. Worried that even though same oil well has witnessed several oil spills in previous years, the current incident borders on catastrophe due to a long period of accumulated oil and maximum pressure from piled up gas in the well. The magnitude of this incident is of an extremely high order, the first of its kind in this part of the world. Further worried that the entire mangrove forest and aquatic life have been adversely affected by this methane gas, as rainbow-like chains are seen on the water body around the point of incident down to the shoreline. Disturbed that dead fishes are also seen floating within the impacted area and fishing activities totally crippled, with the direction of the wind blowing onshore towards the community from the point of the incident. Aware that during the just concluded Global Climate Conference held in Glasgow, Scotland, world leaders gathered to encourage nations to implement international best practices in cutting off such emissions into the entire ecosystem. The Nigerian government was well represented by our dear President in our contribution to global climate action. Notes that while the policy on divestment by IOCs in exploration and production of oil and gas is a welcome development, as it creates space for indigenous companies to invest and grow in the industry. Such opportunities should be accorded to indigenous companies with proven requisite technical and financial competence. Worried that attempts to stop the continuous oil and gas spill by the operators had failed repeatedly for over 1 month running, wasting an estimated over 2 million barrels of hydrocarbon and gas, shows a disappointing appearance of technical incompetence in handling the incident on the part of AITEO Eastern Exploration and Production Company of Nigeria Limited. Note that such degree of incompetence is sufficient to attract sanctions such as revocation of the operational license by the regulatory authorities to instill sanity in the oil and gas sector in response to the increased global call for protection of the environment. Notes with deep concern the threat to this incident poses to the health of the people of the host communities, as the air and water have been contaminated, and also the possibility of a fire outbreak from the oil well if this wanton release of oil and methane gas continues unstopped. Accordingly, resolves as follows. 1. Urge AITEO Eastern Exploration and Production Company Limited to urgently seek, explore, and deploy relevant, highest level of expertise and technology to stop the spill and prevent the continuous damage to the environment and restore the life support system of the people. 2. Urge the Ministry of Petroleum Resources to revoke the operational license of AITEO Eastern Exploration and Production Company Limited if the continuous crude oil spill cannot be stopped by the company. 3. That an environmental impact assessment be conducted to ascertain the extent of damage, ensure internationally acceptable standard of remediation of the environment, and payment of adequate compensation to the affected host communities. And finally, 4, that the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, should, as a matter of urgency, provide relief materials, as this ugly incident has taken a negative toll on the health and well-being of the people of the host communities, which can be declared as a disaster area. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I thank you for the opportunity.
Balance to this, I can see my background, my backyard seat. I am Senator George Thompson Sekiwo, Commander of the Order of the Niger. Distinguished colleagues, Mr. President, whenever motions of this nature comes up, it pricks me and pricks my mind. Because I think that this is something we have already known. Unfortunately, we are not giving attention to the issues. The oil exploitation and exploration, Mr. President, let me start from this point, has put Nigeria on the map as one of the highest producers of crude. Nigeria makes our foreign exchange in huge sum to our country. We support our spending. It makes Nigeria very rich, put food on our table, and make us to smile, all of us. Adversely, the environment is continuously being devastated. Economic activities of the areas are destroyed. The pollution affects the people's health, and this adverse health truly causes early death. While we are enjoying the golden egg from the hen, we are not taking care of the hen. Perhaps the hen will also die if it is not well fed. The emotion and the prayers, I agree with him, but it is not the emotion and the prayers. Now, this is only one area he's talking about. But if you go to virtually every state in the Niger Delta region, there is pollution virtually on every day. Every day. The people, economic activities have completely stopped. The environment is devastated. The land, the air, the water are completely destroyed. If you go to my community in River State and sleep and wake up the next day, put your hand in your nostril and bring it out, it will be dark and black and dark. Mr. President, that is what we go through. We breathe in that bad air. Now, why will somebody who has an oil well just lock it, cap it, and keep, and it's no overflows and it's disturbing the people? Are we supposed to tell him in his own business to do the right thing? This is only one person. But it has been so in many of the areas. Mr. President, I am thinking that the Senate has much more than just asking somebody to go and either repair or to go and check is the oil well or other oil majors to go and check their... We have gone beyond that level. We have come to the level of taking a holistic study of the devastation of the environment, the total environment, and see how Nigeria can salvage those of us from that area, from that point. I am sure many of you wouldn't be happy that we went back home, those of us from the Niger Delta region or South region went back home, and then one day we sleep and we didn't wake up, all of us. Then we come here and say, let's rise up for 1 minute silence for all of them. And then we join, and that may be the end. And that may be the end of the story. So, Mr. President, for me, let this Senate take a decisive decision on what to do so that we can curb the SSCs of this pollution everywhere. They are just there. We will talk about so many of the, where the first oil well was discovered and abandoned since this day. And that one has been a problem.
Please, a round up now. A round up.
I'm rounding up. But I think Mr. Senate President should give a strong voice to see how we can take a real remedial solution a real solution to the pollution in the area and also remedy the land that have been badly polluted. Thank you. So
Whether it is an indigenous oil company or international oil company, that the companies must be responsible to the communities and to us as a nation, because this is devastation of the lives and ecosystems in that part of the country. And I believe that this particular case should be made to be an example of what government and its agencies can do, not only to remedy, to force the alleged culprit to remedy the environment, but also to penalize the oil company for devastating the lives of the people in that area, in Nembe